What up, what up, what up, bitches? So, I came home from work today. Look at that. Look at that. So anyway, I come in from work today and I look in the fridge and I see there's like half a gallon left of orange juice, and I'm like, fuck, how am I supposed to get fucked up tonight? So then I look in my freezer and I realized I forgot to drink last night. I have almost an entire fucking bottle of Admiral Nelson's all to myself. So we're gonna get fucked up. Alright, so I got a buddy of mine I went to high school with. His name's Joe Gibbs. And I don't know why me and him never really hung out, dude. He's a cool fucking dude. I think we played baseball together or something. But, we're just starting to recently catch up and shit, which is pretty cool. But, we were talking one night, and somehow or another, a buddy of mine got brought up. His name's Zach Miller. Just a second. I've been working. I've had such a hard day. Okay. So, that's why I don't want to do Van Goghs, because the blade will stick in a spot. So anyway, I'll do it with an Alpha Beast or a fucking Benchmade. But doing it with this sucks. So anyway, now I'm not going to stop doing it until I get it. Oh, you bitch! Got it. Alright. So, the way people look at you when you die. As you're coming up through life, some people make it a goal to make money. Some people make it a goal to help others. Other people are alcoholics and they're just sticking around for whatever. And then there's people who leave with a really sour taste in their mouth. Zach Miller was one of those. Death is something that we've all got to go through. But you should be concerned about the way it happens, right? So it's important to always try to think things through. I knew it was going to fucking do that. I hope you guys can see that right at the end there, when it went like that, instead of out here like this, like it normally does. So anyway, let's move this camera just a little bit down. Hang on. Alright, so Zach Miller was a buddy of mine. Annoying. And we grew up through like preschool, and then I moved away and came back in middle school. He was still there. High school, he was still there. Da 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 da. Well, I fucking did it again, dude. I hate that looking up. You look up at it and you see it's like stuck in this position as it's coming down. And there's nothing you can do. So anyway. Fucker. So, essentially, Zach Miller passes away, right? And he, at one point in time, had a lot of friends. We used to go paintballing together. You know, we had like this paintball tournament, paintball team and shit. And, you know, back then, he was just smoking weed. That's all he really did. Well, when I found out that he was doing acid and heroin at the same time, I quit talking to him. And I quit talking to him because every time I run across somebody in my life that's doing drugs like that, not necessarily LSD, but heroin or coke or ecstasy or any of that, they always end up stealing from me. So, well, actually, they don't, because I kick them out pretty much as soon as I find out they're into that shit. And I do that because I grew up with my brother, who was a cokehead, who was a habitual fucking thief, and still is to this day. But, did it again, god damn it. So, I don't figure out what the fuck causes that. It's so fucking loose. You'd think it wouldn't do that, but it does. So, I'm over at my buddy Tyler's house with his dad, and we're all smoking cigars and shit, nice ones, and we're about to have a cookout and shit, and just hanging out, and Zach Miller's dad stops by. We all heard that he died, right, like 2 days prior, and Zach Miller's dad stopped by. I didn't know this at the time, but they'd kicked Zach out of the house and basically fucking told him he's not allowed to come back because he used to steal from him. He'd steal wine, he'd steal money, he'd steal tools, he'd steal TVs, he'd steal all kinds of shit to go sell for his drug habit. So, they pretty much kicked him out. Well, Zach Miller's dad stops by, and he asks me and Tyler if we want to be pallbearers. I've got to find a place to ash this. He asked if we want to be pallbearers at Zach Miller's funeral. And I declined. So did Tyler, for a reason. Zach Miller's dad ended up telling us what actually happened with Zach, and that was, he went to a bar one night, saw two chicks that were pretty, and gave them heroin, because he was going to get them all fucked up and take advantage of them. Both of those girls died from an overdose from heroin, the heroin that Zach Miller gave them. So in the state of Ohio, if you give somebody drugs and they die, you're now a murderer if they find you. So while he was awaiting trial, he posted bond, which was a lot. And basically, before he could stand trial for what he did to those two girls, he took the coward's way out and overdosed himself and killed himself off of heroin. So it kind of really left a sour taste in your mouth growing up with the guy, because it's like it completely changed who this person was. Totally wouldn't recognize his attitude at all towards anything. And he's just not... It would have been one thing if it was like a car accident or something like that, but it wasn't. So, you know, Tyler's upset about it, and I really didn't care. I was making jokes like, you know why there were only two pallbearers at Zach Miller's funeral? It's because there's only two handles on a garbage can. You know, I'm just making jokes and shit, not really giving a fuck, because I got no respect for the guy. And Tyler was pretty upset about it. So I showed up at Tyler's house one night, and his parents had evidently ordered him a pizza. And by the time he got it, the pizza was cold, and his parents called, and they were like, hey, you know, Tyler, how you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm doing okay. And they're like, hey, we sent you a pizza. Did you get it yet? And he's like, yeah, I got it, but I didn't eat it because it was cold. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And in the background, they just, because it was on speakerphone, they just heard me say, not as cold as Zach Miller. No respect for the guy at all. But, fucking did it again, dude. Jesus Christ. I gotta get a new knife. I do. I gotta get a Benchmade 87 or something. But before I do that, wouldn't it look badass if I pulled these apart? Hang on. You can't really see. But I put like beads in them. Damn it. The fucking lighting. If I put like beads in them to be like a Viking, that'd be dope as fuck. But anyway. So yeah. The point to this story is like, you've got to pick, whether you like it or not, when you get out of high school, you're going to be forced against your will to select a career path. Because you're going to realize that McDonald's job you have doesn't pay rent, or a cell phone bill, or a car payment, or any of the shit that is a basic necessity. So you have to select something. I picked hard labor. And I learned a lot from it. I became a welder, which is a skilled trade. I was an iron worker for 11 and a half years, built bridges. And I always went the trade route because by the time I graduated high school, I was already hearing stories of all these fucking people that spent $250,000 on college, and they get out and there ain't a single job for them. I didn't want to end up being like one of those people. Plus, I learned that I can make decent money at a skilled labor job for a nice life. You know, I'm not really looking to make Donald Trump money. You know what I mean? I'm content. I'm happy. When I want to buy something, I buy something. When I want to get drunk and fucked up, I get drunk and fucked up. That's all I'm asking of this world. So, it's okay to be a criminal. But if you pick something, don't be like Zach Miller. Pick something pretty. Pick something beautiful. So that when you get caught, you go down as the coolest motherfucker that ever lived. You know what I mean? Fucking be that one guy that picked all the locks in Fort Knox, but didn't steal anything. You know what I mean? Be that one motherfucker that did that. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I don't know. You gotta do something cool. My biggest ambition in life is to I don't know how to explain this any other way other than get into the longest police chase ever recorded in history. And there's a video that I'll upload after this where I never really felt this excitement until this happened. And then it was like, oh my God, you know, like this is so much fucking fun. I see why people do it now. When they just fucking, the cops, you know, cherries and berries are flashing in the rearview mirror and you just fucking, wah, wah. I get it. It's a fucking blast. It's awesome. Makes you feel cool as shit. But anyway, so like, what happened was I was in, you remember, if you recall that bitch named Asia who hit me up for money after she cheated on me and I moved all the way up to Ohio, And instead of giving her money, I went out and bought a truck. Well, this is a video of me in that 5.7 liter V8 Hemi fucking engine Dodge Ram 1500 going down the highway, and there's a state trooper behind me fucking flashing and flashing and flashing, and I don't pull over. Well, what happened was he pulled off the on-ramp and I was doing like 110, and then I slowed down because I was like, oh dude, I'm fucked now, there goes my license, because up here in Ohio the speed limit is 65. Yeah, I'm fucked. So anyway, I slowed down. I pulled out my phone and I started taking pictures because his tire blew out. And this motherfucker must have followed me for what seemed like 5 fucking miles on a blown tire on his driver's side front tire. Followed me for like 5 miles before he finally fucking pulled over. And just the feeling. That'll never happen again. That never happens. But it happened to me. It's like a stroke of luck. So anyway, I'll include that video so you guys can see it. It's pretty fucking cool. But there's not a whole lot of people who, especially in trucks, that get away from the police. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. It happens all the time on crotch rockets. Not in the truck. You know what I mean? That's just fucking unheard of. So anyway. Alright guys. Story time with Stitch is over with. You can go back to sucking cock now. Alright guys. Peace.
I've never been lonely. Cause me so cool. Baby, you have a possibility.